Okay, so welcome. This is iStream Radio, and we are in the Audiomango van, the elevated audio experience. And we're not just in the van, but we've got a very, very nice man in the van. And here it is, the one and only Blocko in the van.
Brown in the van.
Brown in the van. We're loving that. How you doing, Brandon?
Very good, Sacha. Nice to see you. It's been a long
Lovely
time.
to see you. You know, it's so nice in general, isn't it, to just see everybody's faces. So we've all been locked away and
yeah. It's definitely like a new experience. It's good. It's not. I mean, you see that everyone's adapted quite quickly. So yeah.
All just
good,
jumped back into
good.
it. It's just lovely to see everybody's faces and have that social interactivity again.
Connection, man. We want connection. That's it.
Connection. That's what it's all about. So you're on the back of Clockstock, was it last weekend?
Clockstock, and also Liquid Spirit Weekender, which was down in Shorefield Country Park down near Lymington.
Right.
Then Clockstock, which was just
off the chart.
Unbelievable.
Oh, tell me all about it. I'm so gutted I wasn't there.
So well done. Out of all the festivals, I think it was definitely up there with even only 2 years in the planning. Second time I've done it, it just, and the infrastructure was incredible.
Danny knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So what stage did you play on? Was it the main stage? Disco stage?
But I've always asked to do that.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, because, it's my roots. I sort of go back to my funk and soul, and I feel, look, there's so many DJs now, and, you can, I preferred that sort of thing. And I said to Mankey like 2-3 years ago, let me play disco stage and maybe help plan it a little bit. So yeah, and I'm happy to do that each year because I loved it, and it was really good. So yeah, happy days with that.
Yeah, and you are the original Clockwork resident.
Say again?
You are the original Clockwork resident.
Well, yeah. I mean, we sort of did lots of gigs together back in when they first started, and obviously we sort of took them to Ibiza together, and then they started Paradise, which became the Clockwork Orange that everyone remembered. The busiest night in Ibiza for many years actually. So yeah,
and it's great. Like when I've been to Clockwork since it's been back, it's still got that original vibe, hasn't it?
Incredible. It's just so brilliant what they've done. And bringing it back all those years, so yeah, still now it's been going another 10 years still, so just hasn't aged one bit.
Totally. So we are here, and I should say we are now here in Brighton at Brighton Music Conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is BMC 21. We thought at some points it would never happen. It felt like it's a long, long time coming, but we are here, and
absolutely.
The sun is shining.
Well done to Billy and that for putting it on. They've done it very well, and it looks, it's a fantastic turnout.
I've seen his dress.
The first really of its type in the country, and obviously had the Miami Winter Music Conference and the ADE, isn't it, in Amsterdam. But yeah, so they've done really well pulling this off here, and Brighton's one of the musical towns of the nation, so great place to have it.
Well, that's it. I mean, it is the only conference that's actually happening. I think ADE is kind of not really happening now,
no.
And it's only the only conference that's happening this year. So it's great to be here. The sun is shining. I know, I'm on the board at BMC and on the team. I know how much stress it's been, and with for everybody, obviously, all promoters and everything, 1 minute it's going to happen, 1 minute it's not. It's just actually been a nightmare. So seeing everybody's smiley, happy faces today and the sun shining for us, couldn't be happier. So have you done your panel?
I've done my panel, my panel this morning about mental health and resilience in today's market. Something I've been very passionate about for many years. Obviously, I've had my own, struggles. Different places throughout my life, but
haven't we all, Brandon? Haven't we all?
But I learned many years ago that my experience could be valuable and help people, which I think as humans we all want to do deep down. And with the availability of information and what's people talk about now, and being able to talk openly about how they're feeling. There was a big talk about men this morning. There's lots of men's support groups. Obviously, male suicide's still probably the worst. But yeah, and I think it's just that to keep talking about it, to make sure it's still out there, people are aware of it, you know, and there's that saying, it's okay to not be okay, you know. We live in strange times, especially now, but you know, it was heading for similar strange times before the lockdown. I just don't think people were aware of it because they were just so caught up in being you know,
getting on with things.
Well, yeah, a bit, but the expectations of living in today's world are so high, and people weren't coping. You know, people find it struggling. You know, and it's a constant. It's not like no one doesn't say, well, now it's time to take downtime.
Yeah,
just a day in, day out sort of string. So you know,
relentless.
Yeah, it's relentless. That's right, and overwhelm and all that stuff. But now we can talk about it, and now, you know, more so than ever, it's very vital that you reach out to your fellow man or woman. If you see someone's doesn't maybe look right, or you know, you're concerned
struggling,
in any way, ask again and listen to what they're saying, you know, because there may be a hidden message. Open
that space.
Absolutely, and let them do it, you know. But I think it's, you know, it's the awareness, and it's becoming more commonplace. So people are, you know, and I have no problem with saying to someone, I'm not feeling well up here, so I'm not coming, or
got to be honest.
Whatever it is, you know, and people have to understand now that that's the case. That's what's been created, and if they don't manage that, who knows? But you know, it's all very positive stuff that's going on, especially with, you know, this stuff. And Billy, you're not putting the Brighton Music Conference on because people need it in the industry. They need to feel part of something again, and it obviously shows that, you know, the music industry will bounce back, as it always is. Music's a fundamental part of life. People map their lives by it, so there's going to be, you know, it's one of the cures, a cure-all music, you know. Can take you to places,
everything.
You know.
It is your medicine. It is.
You know, you can have an iPod or whatever, and you can go and go to places, escape and meditate and do all that stuff that you need to do to look after yourselves in this world. So yeah, you know, it's great for the industry that it's all back.
And that's it, you know. For me, well, without music, I wouldn't be here.
No, well, not, you know.
You know, and I don't mean just at BMC. I generally mean in life. Like, for me, my music has brought all of my community and all of my support. And, you know, when you know, maybe families aren't so good and things aren't so great, for me, you know, having left home at 16, if it wasn't for my music community, then I would be very much more alone. And it brings us together, and it is the essence of music for me, is it brings you together.
And it's been, well, you know, the last 35 years since all the you know, sort of that let's say the house music evolution started, acid house, if we want to call it. It's been a community growing and thriving ever since. You know, it hasn't been a genre or a revolution of, you know, a music genre is finished after 10 years and then something else. This has all been evolving. It's been continual. So the dance music scene has become
a family.
The music scene.
Yeah.
Everyone has, you know, all the pop stars now, all the music recording artists will have dance mixes done. Will make dance tracks. I mean, okay, not every recording artist, but there will be somewhere in an album or something that will link something producing wise or something.
So it can be played
music
on the dance floor, yeah.
So it's been an incredible 40 years of, you know, evolution musically. And, you know, what better place to come and share those ideas and, you know, reminisce and, you know, see old friends. I saw Carl earlier on, still probably the hardest working man in the industry. Yeah. But he loves it, and he travels endlessly, and, you know, good luck to him. He's a fantastic ambassador for the whole thing, isn't he?
Yeah, totally, and it is all about that. And the thing for BMC, for me, having, you know, I'm originally from Essex, but having moved to Brighton 7 years ago, and that was kind of when BMC started, so I was here at the first one, and this conference is a large part of my local community. It's my family now, you know, and it's everything to us. And that kind of, you know, Billy's one of my best mates now, and, you know, and his wife is as well, and that's, you know, there's true beauty in that, and we just love it when everybody's here in Brighton. You know, we love Brighton, and I always said, you know, we've had Miami for years, and we've had ADE for years, and I was like, but, you know, UK's always been at the forefront of dance music. Why haven't we got our own conference? Absolutely. And so when BMC started, I was like, yes. this, and it's on my doorstep now.
We've been, UK's been instrumental in making brands, worldwide brands, and lots of them. And we embraced the house music scene all them years ago, and we ran with it, and we never stopped running with it, and we created, other people to embrace that thing. Myself and Alex's Space, the Terrace of Space, was a groundbreaking moment in time, which was brilliant. And as you say, we needed something like this to show the world what they're capable of and what we've been doing for years and years and years.
And bring us all together in an environment that isn't a club or isn't a bar, and is for us to all to have a nice chat and daytime and discuss issues and debate what's going on and try and push things forward, keep on pushing things forward. There's some great panels and there's some great debates, and I know as we're so passionate about our community and our industry and our music that to be able to keep pushing it forward for the future is completely fundamental to us. And like you said, everything you're doing with mental health. I'm a ambassador for the music campaign now, for the Me Too side of things, and being able to be able to be strong enough to be, as an industry, to be able to go, we're open to talk about everything. We're strong enough to go, if we want to cry, we want to cry. And if there's wrong things going on in this industry, we're happy, we're going to talk about it. And it takes the best men to cry. I know that.
I cry all the time.
I was crying all day on Tuesday.
I love it. I love a good cry. And I cry at every sad thing on telly. Anything to do with animals, I cry.
You're a big emotional girl. And I love you for it. That's what,
I have no bones about saying that, because, you cry because it's an emotional release. It's our natural emotional release.
It is, yeah.
I have no problem in doing that. In public, I've cried on trains, I've cried everywhere. I don't care.
It's really interesting, because as a woman working in the male-dominated industry many times, you often go, don't let them see you cry. They think they've got one over on you, or this kind of thing. And it's been something that I've had to really, because I'm an emotional girl. I've always been a sensitive, emotional woman, and when you're having to hold it in, it's a painful experience sometimes when you have to hold it in. And if you hold it in over and over and over again, that's when you can start to really have trouble internally.
You have to have a release somewhere.
And so to be sitting here with a guy in the industry that can say that, it's such an important thing to know that if a girl cries, it doesn't mean that all the time that she's losing it, or she's she's going crazy or whatever, because this is a lot of the time people can make that judgment and go, oh God, what's wrong with her, or what's wrong with them. It's like, well, no, just because I'm crying, there's not something wrong with me. This is
I'm just having a normal human reaction to something that I've felt or thought about, and that's absolutely fine. That's what we have to do. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's why I've got sunglasses.
And say that again.
That's why I've got sunglasses. If the guy see me crying, I'm like, I'm going to put my sunglasses. No, do you know what, right? Many a time in the DJ box, as I'm sure you have, like those emotional moments, of course they bring tears to your eyes, and being able to let that out, in the DJ box, on the dance floor, or wherever it may be.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that our music and everything lets us do. Cry those tears of joy, happiness, as well as, or let out that release.
It's connection. It's having that connection, knowing that you've done something which makes people happy. And it is an emotional moment. It really is.
Yeah. So that is what Brighton is all about, and our community and our industry, and like you were saying, kind of that release and everything, and that connectivity. And you're a man that's been very good at letting people loose on the dance floor and giving them that space to be able to do it, and now doing it with the mental health and everything, and being having the experience you have and being able to actually resonate, because as you know, if you haven't been through these things, you can't understand.
I mean, yeah, I get that. I mean, experience speaks volumes. That doesn't mean, but everyone has a story. Everyone has everyone has a bit of information or a bit of knowledge which could help someone else. This is why the more you talk, the more you share. It doesn't have to be about anything particular, but it just could be one little nugget of information which would make a small change in someone, but a dramatic change in someone else. So,
totally.
You know, the whole thing about... See, I do a podcast as well. I've finished it now, but it was called We're All a Bit Mental.
Oh, was it?
I did it with Chesney Hawkes, because Chesney's a good mate of mine.
Oh, did you?
And
the one and only.
Yeah. and for me, it was about breaking the stigma around the word mental health now, because like, when I was a kid, if you said, like, oh, you're mental, you'd just run around the class thinking you're crazy, a little bit mad, a little bit eccentric, but not anything. But you say the word now and you automatically evoke a feeling of fear, or am I ill? Am I,
something wrong with you?
It's like there's no medium ground where people's brain health, let's say, is a very, very huge spectrum. It's the widest spectrum of anything. So, that's a broad statement, and if it's about making it more light-hearted, look at our brains, because laughter is a cure for illness. And I think, as people say, mental health, it's like, oh, am I ill? And being able to let go of that and say, no, I'm not ill, I'm just thinking I'm managing my state, or managing my emotions, or my thinking, or my, it all comes from here, it's all linked up, isn't it? So that was the idea of the podcast, but it's just quite successful.
See, I don't like the word mental, as in, so I like to use the word mind health.
Yeah, mind health, whatever, brain health.
Because you know what you just said about when we were younger, people, if you're mental, you're mental. And or radio rental, as it were.
That was and so it was,
and like you said, it just has this kind of stigma that goes, oh, there's an issue.
Yeah.
And so I really like to twist it and go, no, let's talk about mind health, and instead of talking, your mind health, because it just flips it a little bit for me.
Well, yes, it's reframing, isn't it? It's taking the power out of the word.
Yeah. Words are so powerful, aren't they?
The word still exists, and it's just changed over the years from what it was when I was a kid back to sort of now. Look, it's a lot more acceptable, it's a lot more palatable, and a lot of people, when you talk about it in rooms like that or whatever, you can say, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and that's the way it should be. It's changing, and I think that's only because we talk about it so much now, and share about it, and I mean it's fundamental. It's part of life. It's not like something that's just we all have a health, a brain health. It's how healthy is it, or how
just the same as physical health.
Exactly, but how's it? Is it helping you, or is it hindering you by the way you think, or by the way you behave, or and it's about being able to be aware of the things that are affecting you, what's releasing your stressors, causing triggers. You to be unwell, or are you living in fear or anxiety, or and being aware of that stuff and thinking, well, this is not great for me because it's not making me feel good. And being able to get the tools by reaching out, speaking to people, and explaining that's what's going on, and someone somewhere will have an answer because they would have experienced that. So they can say, well, this worked for me.
Exactly.
Maybe try that. But it's about sharing those tools, and it's about sharing experiences and music and the space, as you say, and these times out, which are very valuable. And now it creates the whole. Moving forward, slowly the music industry will, and nighttime industry, because Mike's here from the MTIA, slowly starts to unfold again and evolve into whatever it changes into. It will be what it will be. You can't tell right now, obviously.
No, and this is it. And with our community, being able to open that space, and because it's such a tight-knit community, in wherever we go in the world, you still bump into people we know from our scene, and having that community that is totally open to be able to know that this is something that we're quite happy to talk about, we want to talk about, as especially in guys, it can be a real difficult for them to open up to their emotions and their feelings and why they're feeling like that. But in a supportive community, it's so much easier to do that.
Of course. But as you say, those communities are opening up all day long, you know. The awareness is different now. We know it's important. People have, you know, been struggling now. But they get help, and I think the thing about it is that as long as people know that help's available, and people will more often than not listen.
And people care.
They can listen, but it's about learning how to listen and listen to what for, but also having the time to give the space and, you know, not judging and being on, you know, and just being aware of your fellow human. I think, you know,
having care,
right?
Having care, care for one another. You know,
Passion,
actual
kindness,
care.
all those stuff that we seem to lack.
Passion, kindness, benevolence, all of these things.
And that's what connection brings. That whole human interaction brings that. It's nice to see you again, nice to converse. I feel a bit more significant. I've got someone here. You know, that's the whole thing, the communication stuff of, you know, online. It's all great seeing people, but, you know, that whole thing about being there and being part of it is important.
So important. So we're going to have a big release tonight. You're playing at a party. We've got a party. Where's the party tonight? You're down.
Mine's at Tempest up here.
Yeah.
But I'm playing early because I've got to get back to Bournemouth, which is where I live now. But yeah, and I think it's going to be well attended. I think everyone's here. They always do. Last year, 2 years ago, it was here, and it was, you know, where everyone wanted to go out. They wanted to let their hair down.
Yeah, and we're up against you.
Hey?
We're up against you.
I think there's enough to go round. Don't worry.
No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. What time are you playing?
7 till 8.
7 to 8. Okay, so you come down and see us afterwards, or you got to go straight to Bournemouth?
I would, but it's
well, Mike's going to be here soon, the other half, so you'll be able to see him. But yeah, so we've got our networking party, which we're launching our live channels tonight at the party.
Good luck with that.
And yeah, you're at the Tempest Inn, so we're going to have a big enough release. We all need a dance.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just lovely to see you in Brighton, and lovely to have you here.
And you, hun. It's great to see you. Thank you for the interview. Well done, guys.
Thank you so much.
Probably the best van I've ever been in.
I know. It's an amazing van.
Incredible
Anybody
van.
wants the Audiomango van, it is the van with the nicest possible
I might take
man.
his number. I've just bought a camper, so maybe you can come and do some wonderful wonders in the back of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
I'm laughing. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Gav.
Thanks, Gav. That was great.
I want you to get up.